Hi, so happy you're here. I'm Katie T from Katie T's Home, and today I'm going to talk about functionality versus styling in terms of a kitchen soap tray. Make sure you watch to the very end because I do have a big announcement to make. So, without further ado, let's jump in. So I've been seeing a lot of trends on Instagram on styling versus wearing different outfits. And it occurred to me that decorating the house is really no different. And what I mean by that is so often we see different styling or decorations or what have you on social media, and it's nice and it looks beautiful, but it's really not practical. Kind of like when in those clothes situations, yes, those outfits that are styled look gorgeous, but in, all fairness, is it practical? And some might feel like it is, and some might not, and that's completely up to you and what your preferences are. But for me personally, I don't need everything to be completely visual only. Like, I like to have my kitchen function, especially the kitchen, of all the areas in the home. And this kitchen soap tray is one of those things that is super practical in the sense where it does hold all of my essentials like garlic, salt, pepper, butter, oil, soap, while still remaining stylish. And it's hard. It's hard to find a balance that is both stylish and practical at the same time. And I go into more detail on that in my kitchen counter display in the link below. But when you find that balance, it makes a world of difference. And sometimes you have to do certain things to create that balance. Like, for example, this particular tray was not waterproof, and I found it out the hard way, and I was frustrated because I spent good money on it, and just for the main purpose that I had for it to be near the sink, it doesn't work. So I needed to find a workaround, and so what I did was I added some polyacrylic to it to make it waterproof, and that made the world of difference. And one thing with social media that you need to be careful of is, you don't see those obstacles. And I think it's important to have an open mind. And of course, not everyone has the same kitchen tray that I do, but have an open mind that it might not always be as good as what it looks like. But then also, if it's not quite what you expected, to be willing to find that workaround. And I'm happy that I did, because I've had my kitchen soap tray for, I would say, a year now, and it just adds so much modern cottage coziness to that area of the kitchen counter. But it does get dirty. So from time to time, I do need to clean it, restock, oil, soap, garlic, salt, pepper, whatever is lacking, because it is holding all of the essentials that I have. And I do just want to say too, there's definitely decor areas in my house that I know are far from practical. And sometimes it's nice to have that balance, just like back to the first example with the styling versus wearing different outfits. Sometimes you just want to dress up and you want to look good. And that is definitely the case for decorating in the home. Sometimes it doesn't need to be practical. But with that said, there are areas of the home that it really should. Otherwise, it doesn't function. It doesn't flow. It makes things 10 times harder. I mean, how many times do we see those very organized individuals with a million different containers all labeled and looking absolutely supreme. It looks nice, but is it practical? And sometimes I would say yes. Sometimes having those clear bins labeled is definitely the easiest way to organize, but other times it can be excessive. So just finding that balance between styling versus practicality is huge, and which one plays the most important part in that setting. And everyone's going to have a different answer because everyone has a different lifestyle, and that's okay. I think the main objective here is to do what makes you happy, because at the end of the day, you're the one living in your own home, not someone else. So I guess the big takeaway is don't be afraid to style your home, and don't be afraid to find a way to make it practical as well. Because that combination, that balance, is what is going to make you the most happy and efficient in your home. And there's so many different kitchen ideas or living room ideas or home decor in general ideas, especially on Pinterest, which is my weakness, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you really can't go wrong with Pinterest. They have so many different ideas, and there's just so many creative people out there that put things in a perspective that you would have never thought of. And I think it's great. I would encourage that for everyone to do, to look at things in a new light, to see an area that needs fixing and solve the problem. Just like I did with this kitchen soap tray when it needed to be waterproofed, if that's even a word. Yeah. So, I don't know. Comment below. Do you have any areas in your home that you're kind of struggling with? And let this be a collective community where other people who might have had the similar problem but found a solution can answer, because that's why we're here, right? To get inspired, to see what other people are doing that may have good ideas. It's all about the community and being there for one another. And I apologize because my camera's out of focus, and well, I didn't realize that at the time, but my kitchen soap tray is clean and I don't need to do it again. So here we are. This is what I have to work with. Sorry again. But yeah, back to the main point of this, practicality versus styling. I mean, it's really all up to you. And I guess the way to determine if it is a combination of the two is to just ask yourself these simple questions. Do you like the style? Does it make you happy? Does it fit with your lifestyle as far as how it functions? For someone who doesn't do a lot of cooking, there might not be a need to have the fresh garlic, salt, pepper, oil, what have you. So they can afford to have something smaller just with the soap. Versus someone else who has a lot more of the essentials when it comes to cooking, or just different types of essentials. Like their kitchen soap tray, oil tray, whatever you want to call it, is going to look different. So again, do what's best for you and make it in a way where you feel proud of it, where you like it. And that's all you can ask for. So now for the big announcement that you've probably been waiting for since the beginning of this video. I am happy to announce that I officially finished creating my online storefront. I made a ton of digital downloads, and if you are a inner chef, or have an inner chef, I should say, and like to be organized, then I have the perfect digital downloads for you. I have a whole section on mealtime, and there's several digital downloads that include recipe cards, meal planning, grocery shopping checklists. I also have a couple of unique ones as well. One of them I like to call Make Again Meals. This particular download is perfect for the people who make a meal and they like it and they're like, oh, I really want to remember this, but you don't really have an area to write it down. You just go based off of memory. Well, this is the digital download for you because it allows you to include a link to where you discovered that recipe, the title of it, and how much you enjoyed it. So that way you can always go back and make that meal again. Well, as you can see, I am wrapping up and I have finished cleaning and restocking my kitchen soap tray. Tell me what you think. Do you like it? Would you make something like this in your kitchen? Comment below. I'd love to hear it. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining. Bye!